The Brandon Peters Show may contain explicit language and detailed plot points. For more information on the show, stay tuned to the end of the episode.
The summer of 2015 at 10.
Welcome to the summer of 2015 at 10 on the Brandon Peters Show. It's Friday and time for another music video companion series installment, and returning for his fourth summer. He's been part of all of them from the Saturday Evening Post and author of Marvel Comics for Dummies, Troy Brownfield.
How you doing?
Hello, hello. Do you want to just real quick before we dive into this, talk about your Marvel Comics for Dummies
Sure.
series going on? I think you might have talked. It wasn't out yet, I think, last time we were on.
Yeah, that's right. Last time we were, just getting into the cycle of it coming out. And so it came out in February. And as Brandon said, it's Marvel Comics for Dummies, made by the fine folks at Wiley, who have done hundreds and hundreds of dummy books. But they set a new program up with Marvel. And so far, we've had Captain America for Dummies and Marvel Comics for Dummies. And coming soon, Fantastic Four, Avengers, Spider-Man, and X-Men for Dummies, which I'm also the writer of, which will be out in December. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, and really, it's a cool thing, and it's these are designed as primers, really. So if you have a passing familiarity with the comics, or if you're a movie fan and never read the comics or anything, these are great places to go to give you direction about storylines, background info, and characters. They are comic focused. You won't find movie stuff in them. They are strictly comic related. So
Gotcha. As it should be, which is why, it's funny. I got this big blast of nostalgia love when I went to Universal Studios back in was it 2023? Because their Marvel area can't have the movie stuff, so it's all based on the comic stuff, and it's just it's got a classic look to it, and I love that rather than being
Right.
all based on the movies and stuff. And there's just a different vibe from what things were like in the 90s and 80s representing comics, and that's where it kind of has that feel. And I'm yeah, I miss
Yeah.
this stuff. I miss when it was like this.
And that deal is interesting too, because the Universal gets to use Marvel characters in parks east of the Mississippi.
Right, yeah.
Disney gets to use them west, hence the California being the Avengers campus and everything. But you kind of see why Disney leans into the movie side,
Mhm.
even despite the fact that they own the entirety of Marvel. But that's, Disney really is a movie park in all of it's incarnations.
Oh,
But
yeah,
but
for sure. But that Spider-Man ride at Universal is my fave. So,
it's a classic.
here we go. So, Troy, 2015. This is now 10 years ago. Just give us a little bit about where you were at then. And I will note, in 2015, you and I have known each other for a few years now.
That's right. Let's see, 2015, I was um, writing for Dynamite and Zenescope, still comics, Blood Queen, um, maybe Prince Dracula was coming out, novel I did for Dynamite, but Grim Fairy Tales versus Wonderland was either 2014, 2015. So,
Mhm.
right, lots of comics. I was teaching. I would not start at the Post until 2018. So, teaching is a day job and a night job because I was also teaching night classes and writing comics. That's where I was at that point.
Gotcha. Excellent.
And my boys would have been 10 and 8.
Okay, it's gotcha. And now they're young gentlemen.
Yeah, 10 years older than that.
And yeah, 10 years older than that. So in the Monday episode here, the movies we talked about. So if you have any thoughts on any of them, here now's your time to share a quick hit or two about them. First up, Love and Mercy.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Um, it's I'm a big Beach Boys fan. The Brian Wilson depiction with two actors is awesome, and the recording sequence for Good Vibrations is stellar. Good Vibrations is one of my all-time favorite songs, and it's you hear new and different stuff every time you listen to it. If you listen to it with an ear toward trying to figure out what's going on in there, you pick up
Hmm.
stuff, like the cellos and things. So it was really interesting to seeing it visualized in the movie. And it's kind of for some rough emotional moments, it's kind of what I categorize almost like a gentle film.
Yeah.
But man, everybody's great. Um, Giamatti and Paul Dano and Cusack. I mean, it's just a good movie.
Right. Were you aware that conceptually it was supposed to have three different Brian Wilsons? There was going to be a middle section with Philip Seymour Hoffman
I
as
was not
him.
aware of that.
Yeah. About his overweight period, big period of that. So there's that. Okay. Our second one is Entourage, the movie.
Didn't see it. I did watch a fair amount of Entourage, the TV show, but I
Yeah.
was not interested in the movie.
Gotcha. Uh, Insidious, Chapter 3.
Ooh, have I seen Insidious Chapter 3?
The
No.
Lee Wanell directed prequel, the
Yeah.
directorial debut of Lee Wanell.
I actually haven't seen that one. I mean, I've for sure seen Insidious several times. One of my great jump scare faves is in the first Insidious, but
Is it the guy standing behind the crib in the
oh, it's
window?
the at the table,
Oh, okay, okay,
the red man behind Patrick Wilson at the table.
gotcha,
I love that bit because it's just such a sharp cut.
for sure. All right, and the big movie this week was Spy with Melissa McCarthy, Jason Statham.
Oh yeah, watch that on a plane.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's funny that was the big one that week.
Yes. Made a ton of money. Big hit. All right. So our song today, music video, is Bad Blood, which is the fourth single from Taylor Swift's 9 times platinum pop breakthrough album 1989. The other 6 singles from it were Shake It Off, Blank Space, Style, which just missed the summer of 2015. It dropped out of the top 10. Wildest Dreams, Out of the Woods, and New Romantics. It hit #1 on the Hot 100, knocking off See You Again, that juggernaut for just 1 week, and then it was back. And it was Kendrick Lamar's first #1 and Taylor's fourth. This is the shortest duration to top the charts since Nelly's Over and Over featuring Tim McGraw in 2004, and it's the 10th best-selling song of 2015 in the U.S. The single itself going 6 times platinum. Troy, critics retrospectively consider this one of Swift's worst songs. What do you think about just this, before we get in the video, the song itself?
I think that's a weird take. It is one of those songs with a bit of a repetitive quality, which I think that's what a lot of the criticism focuses on.
Mm,
The chorus bit gets repeated a lot, which choruses get repeated in songs. That's why they're choruses. But it is. I get what they're saying, especially for somebody who's can be lyrically dense, and I mean that in the positive way
hmm
that Swift can. Like if you look at All Too Well, 10-minute version, that is a lyric packed juggernaut. And Bad Blood is kind of the opposite of that. It's kind of spare in ways, except for, you've got Kendrick stuff, which in isolation is a different
hmm
thing. But it is, I get that people would criticize it for the repetitive thing, but to call it one of the worst, I don't know. Stadiums don't react like it's one of the worst.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I think it's a fine song. It's catchy. It's one of the ones I know I've heard a lot. Like it got plenty of spins. Um, but I guess if people want to start getting controversial with stuff, then they're
Yeah.
gonna pick on a notable tune. But the music video here we're here to talk about today is directed by David Gould and Joseph Kahn and written by David Gould and Taylor Swift. Joseph Kahn we've done before. He was on the summer of 2004 at 20 for Britney Spears' Toxic, which is very similar vibes to this video, honestly.
Yeah.
And he does a lot of Taylor Swift videos. Movie wise, did Torque, Detention, and this very same year in 2015. I don't know if you remember it, but it took the internet, the movie side of the internet, by storm. He did a short called Power Rangers that starred James Van Der Beek and Katie Sackhoff that
Yes.
people like quite a bit. I remember I was like, it was like this like gritty, they're older now type
Yeah.
Power Ranger thing.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah,
Oh, the toxic thing is interesting because I always interpreted toxic as intentionally homaging Alias, which
yeah,
was
yeah.
still rolling at the time because Alias launched in 2001 and had 5 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And especially with the red wig, that kind of really homages the pilot
Right.
and everything. But it's funny because I always took Bad Blood as like, and this is the Sucker Punch edition.
Very true. Yeah, this cast is stacked. It's got Selena Gomez, who we'll talk later on this summer. Lena Dunham, Haley Steinfeld, Soraya, Ellie Goulding, who we'll also talk about. Geek Hadid, Martha Hunt, Cara Delevingne, Haley Williams, Zendaya, Lily Aldridge, Carly Kloss, Jessica Alba, Ellen Pompeo, Mariska Hargitay, and Cindy Crawford. Is she de-aged, Cindy Crawford, in this video? It looked
I
like
don't
she
think
was.
so.
I couldn't tell. It was all like computery, and she looked different. Like she almost looked like a CG person compared to everybody else in this.
Well,
So I didn't know if they were trying to make her look like a young Cindy Crawford, or I know
yeah,
Cindy Crawford's aged quite well, but
yeah. I think all you need to do with Cindy Crawford is just lighter, right?
right.
I mean, which I find particularly the last three, uh, Pompeo, Hargitay, and Crawford are really interesting additions because it, Swift has never made any secret of her love for all of them, especially naming her cats after
Right.
Pompeo and Hargitay's characters, which is widely known in the culture. But it's like these actresses, this model, that's my thing right there, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
then all these people that I'm friends with.
Yeah. It's like, hey, you guys want to get on board? And it was supposed to have Kendall Jenner, but she had to be out of town for another commitment during the shooting.
Yeah, and were this made a couple years later, it probably would have had Haim in it.
Oh yeah, yeah. That
You
would be
know,
cool.
just still you kind of know the openers and everything. And if it were made last year, it would have had Sabrina Carpenter in it. But
Yeah, yeah. She could make updated versions of the video.
yeah,
Just
make a sequel. But Bad Blood 2, Badder Blood.
Better Blood. Yeah, so this is like this set in London, and it's this fictional spy thing with a lot of CG arenas and things, that everybody's got their own character, and they're like training. Some fighting. There's some, the cool group shot as they walk away. Haley Steinfeld's a really weird one because she's like a
Clone.
scientist, somebody, and there's clones of her walking, going around. So it's kind of a
This is a you know deep comic reference, but it reminds me of the Stepford Cuckoos from X-Men, especially Grant Morrison's X-Men, the telepaths that all look alike.
okay,
The
okay,
Emma Frost students. There are 3 to 5, depending on where you read along the continuity. But her Trinity reminds me of the Stepford Cuckoos in a way. Like they're all identical, which they are based on, obviously, the Village of the Damned.
yes,
But you know, I just got that vibe that it was like, oh, here's another nod to um, a pop culture thing. Like,
right. Which Haley Steinfeld, this is her third appearance in summer of 2015 already, having been in Pitch Perfect 2 and Barely Lethal, which we've talked about already. So
it's-
this is which Barely Lethal was a spy movie in itself. So this is her second jaunt in the spy-ish genre. But
yeah,
yeah, and then Kendrick Lamar just appears, like, they brought him in for like an hour just to film film his little sequence, but it works.
yeah. And side note, when they did the Taylor's version of this album, as everybody on the world knows that they, with the whole copyright owning the master tapes issue and everything, Kendrick also came back and re-recorded
Yes, he
his
did.
rap for it. So, which is excellent. Team player. But
Yeah.
I like his role in the video as kind of a, you know, Q slash M kind of figure. But, you referenced the whole training montage. I like because the
Hmm.
opening is, if you're not familiar with it, the opening is Selena Gomez's character, uh, Arson, spelled with great like image comic spelling with
Yes.
ARSYN, betrays Taylor Swift's character and kicks off the whole revenge plot. But then you've got the training montage. So it is vibing real hard on classic spy material, like you said. And we you already acknowledged like Khan did Toxic, which is again Alias influenced, but
Yeah.
I always felt like this was just a straight up sucker punch.
Well, yeah, it's like that, but like the vibe of the videos too, they're like fully based around CG environments is another thing that I found very similar to these two.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like the CG has changed all too much between the two of them, and they're 11 years apart. But it's music video budgets. But this is an example I've been talking about, Troy, in 2015. Uh, the music video itself isn't an important part of the album promotion anymore, and I've said that unless you're Taylor Swift, Lady Gaga, Beyonce, the videos are, in terms of creativity or lavish production, are all kind of like a bit weak this summer in comparison, or very, very simple conceptually compared to what we've had before.
Yeah, it's weird to explain to people how important pre-modern internet music videos were on MTV to selling
Hmm.
them. Which is why you had during the hip hop and alternative explosions of the 90s, people coming out of nowhere with a great video and selling millions of records
Yeah.
because that one run during Yo Raps or 120 or Headbangers or whatnot can get you in front of millions of eyes, and then regular rotation can get you platinum record.
Well,
And
well, there are videos even that we remember wholeheartedly, and we're like, oh my god, that song must have been huge. Didn't even hit number one. Didn't even
oh,
crack the top 10. But that video hit a rotation and such a, it's like, wow, that didn't do that well. Wow, that's surprising.
yeah, I'm frequently surprised when I'm working on music related stuff for the Post and other bits where I see the chart position of a song that dominated like a summer or a great example in terms of the modern rock tracks, 1994.
Hmm.
Into Your Arms by the Lemonheads,
Yeah.
which most people know. It's been a couple movie trailers and so forth. Uh, Kicked the dog shit out of Heart-Shaped Box on the modern rock as terms of where it was, in terms of numbers and placement and how long it spent at number one and everything.
Hmm.
You would think that one had more of a presence, but one you hear on the radio every day if you listen to alternative rock radio, and one you don't. And it's weird, but the actual tale of success was another way.
Yeah.
Uh, Belly, the band Belly, as opposed to the hip hop artist Belly, like Tanya
Or
Donlin.
the film Belly.
Yeah, but Feed the Tree and everything. But that same mid '90s period, Now They'll Sleep was huge on modern rock radio, and you wouldn't be able to tell people that
Mm.
but the video helped it. The video lifted those songs. They lifted those sales. But with the way that the internet shook down when MTV stopped playing videos, confining it to like 4 hours a day and then 2 hours a day, um,
Yeah.
they, now it, I feel like there's much more go right to what you want to see via YouTube than the experience of watching over a period of time and seeing a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah. True. True. Yeah. The YouTube of it all, like, I mean, it's still playing it in stores and stuff is a thing, but
Yeah.
yeah, the having, you know, go to television to watch, and you just pull up your thing. People have playlists now. You can make your own playlist of videos. The ones you always wanted to see are dial up right on demand, and not all of them appear everywhere. There's some weird videos that have some like directors and stuff have the rights to them, and they're not on YouTube and stuff. I've found, but
Oh yeah, it took forever for Prince's stuff to be widely available
yeah.
because he was restrictive of that. And but I also remember bars and clubs frequently had not just MTV on, but they had closed circuit video channels
Mm-hmm.
that were dedicated to rolling videos. And like if you're going to hey, watch this age me, but like World Mardi Gras at Circle Center, if you're in the World Mardi Gras stage, if you were there to see bands, and between bands, they're constantly running these closed circuit
Mm.
video channels that were like all new music, you know,
Okay.
and you would see, like, I would pick stuff up from some of those. I'd be like, oh, hey, that's great. What is it? Okay, I'll remember that. And,
Yeah.
and check it out. But and they ran everything from like, again, rock, hip hop, whatever. Um,
Because they'd always
but
have the credit that came up before the video. It'd be
yes,
like, was it the artist name, song, album, director, record company? I think
yep,
that's how it went. Yep.
yep. And you got a lot of information, and you could, if you remembered part of it, you could go find it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Or the stuff that they used to play late night. Like many a night I came home from a bar and like found like, oh, Firestarter by the Prodigy, or Tub Thumping, stuff
Yes.
that I knew I saw the first time coming home and having MTV.
Yep. And the late night stuff, and oh man, yeah. I used to go like I called it fishing.
Yeah.
I'd like put a tape in the VCR and like put it on MTV, go to hit record and go to bed and see whatever I picked up in the middle of the night, music video and stuff wise.
When I was in high school, this is between 1988 and 1991. Where I lived in Terre Haute, Indiana, did not have complete penetration by MTV because of dueling cable services.
Okay.
If you lived on one part of town, you had it. And my friend John would tape 120 minutes,
Oh
and
yeah, man.
tape would get passed around
Oh gee.
through the week, and then he'd tape the next week's episode. And so that was one of our ways of finding stuff. It was
Yeah.
like, oh, front 242.
Yeah, I was always looking for like I remember it was crazy because like as popular as the song was and stuff, they played I think MTV in total played the video the Zero video by Smashing Pumpkins like twice, and it was like both times were like late at night, and I ended up having to download that old school dial up wise where it took forever to watch a
And
low quality video.
and speaking of videos, I love that video.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great one.
Yeah, they never showed it. Yeah, it was wild, but because it came
Yeah.
they released it right after 1979, and then nope, nothing.
But
So
a connection between Zero and Bad Blood, Black Outfit.
yes, Black Outfit. Yes, there we go. We bring it back. All the actors in this video got to pick their own name and persona for their people.
And I enjoy that. It makes it
Mm-hmm.
fun for
Oh
the
yeah.
you're not making a feature film where you've got to worry about everybody's characterization and stuff. You're talking about maybe 10, 20 seconds of screen time
Yes.
for some of these
Thanks for
people.
stopping by. What do you want to do? Yeah, the video got 20.1 million views in its first day of release.
Yeah.
That's nuts. And it won the Grammy for Best Music Video, and it was also nominated by Best Pop Duo Group Performance. And at the VMAs, it was nominated 8 times, but only won for Video of the Year and Best Collaboration. So I guess it won the most important one,
Yeah.
but that's what it got. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
some
It
bad blood.
kind of interesting too in retrospect because everybody widely assumes um, that it's about Katy Perry. And here we
Aha.
are where Katy Perry's having a real
Not
rough
a good year. Space changes people, I guess.
It's lonely out in space. Elton John told us. But yeah, it is funny that but the whole betrayal theme is larger than Katy Perry, obviously, and
Hmm.
a lot of Swift's catalog is about, you know, bad breakups and
Right.
betrayal and people not being who you thought they were and all that. And so, I mean, this just slots into the catalog well, but it's interesting that that was the one that she took and said, "Hey, we should get Kendrick Lamar on this," given that his entire last year has been
Yeah,
one of the world's greatest beefs. So it is just it resonates really well. It kind of
it
makes you
does.
like how much of a crazy ass architect Taylor Swift is just to
Oh,
put
she's smart. I think, and let's go, like 1989, one of the best pop albums of the 2010s, would you
oh yeah,
say? Yeah, like easily. And it's
I
hard
swear.
to like I don't know. Like I know there's probably people out there that can't stand Taylor Swift or something like that, but it's like I don't know. I've come to respect and I enjoyed it. This album was one that I really like was like, okay,
Yeah.
he's got some good stuff. I don't know if I personally would rate things like high, but this is really fun. This is, I it's got me to listen to this album, and I'm like, yeah, this is really good. Like, really, I mean, for like good radio stuff that's got a little bit more to it, you know?
Yeah. And I made the comment about repetitive or whatever, but I really like Out of the Woods, which actually has a
Hmm.
repetitive quality to it, but it fits the song, I feel like, because conceptually you're kind of stuck in that loop, where she keeps asking, "Are we out of the woods?" And it fits. It fits if you listen to what the song's actually about.
Yeah, most
It's
of these singles are still in strong rotation too, like "Shake It Off,"
yeah.
"Style," "Blank Space," and this
Well,
still.
if we're going to talk about the album, we should also mention produced by Max Martin and Shellback, who are, if you don't know, Swedish grand masters of pop. Like go look at the list of singles that those guys have written or produced, and it's basically the last 25 years of music.
Hmm.
It's crazy the stuff that those guys have had their hands in. Just absolutely bonkers. And so going back, I mean, Max Martin did Baby One More Time, for example, and then like
Hmm.
for so it's no mistake why she went with them for I'm gonna make my pop album.
Yeah.
She's like she kind of had the transition and like, oh, here's my album that's got country versions and I'll record pop versions, but then 1989 is the pop statement. So you
Right.
mean yeah, you bring in the Swedes for the pop statement.
Of course. That's what you do.
Yep, going back to ABBA. That's the thing.
That's the thing, yeah. That's good stuff. Like, yeah, it's all catchy know-how, and she just continues. I mean, you're watching her like also with these videos learn off directors to become one herself.
Yeah.
The very key thing.
So yeah, I just find it kind of a fascinating watch. It's kind of a fun watch. The celebrity aspect of
Hmm.
it is fun. The I'm going to throw all my friends in here and also throw in people I really admire because I just like to meet them kind of
Right?
aspect of it. Like, that was the conversation. How is it not? You know?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
It's like,
No, it's good stuff. And I just have to. What was there a waiting room? Like, all right, Zendaya, come on, it's your turn.
yep.
You're up next. You're on deck, Haley Williams. Like this.
Yeah, I bet the rap party was
It was legit.
pretty crazy. But no, it is and you mentioned at the top, obviously, Selena Gomez,
Hmm.
long time good friend who knows a thing about or two about working with and or being engaged to people who write a whole shitload of hit songs.
Right? Yeah. Very true. Very true.
But yeah, there's a whole lot of crazy talent in this video, and it's fun, and it really does feel like it slots right into the movies of the moment.
Hmm.
And I think it's lived beyond the feud aspect of it, but
Yeah,
still,
like Taylor's got good taste. Like she's into cool stuff. She wanted this video to be cool because she's not like putting forcing herself into any movies or anything at this time, and
yeah.
so
Yeah, it's really hilarious to think that people, she's in like episodes of CSI and whatnot
Mm-hmm.
early on. Like when she breaks that country, they're like, "Oh, she's cute. Let's put her in TV shows." And
On CBS for the
she's like, "Yeah,
grandparents to check her out.
I'll do that." And then, starts slowly showing up in the movies and then kind of backs way off of it.
But she had Cats and then Amsterdam, and then she's got to deal with Searchlight, so she'll be to direct
Yeah.
the film. So that'll be what's on deck for her probably next.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, I find it she's very interesting, very savvy
Yeah,
character.
for sure. Okay, well, I think that's good for us here, Troy, on Bad Blood. But you and I don't have Bad Blood, so you'll be back later this summer. Until then, where can people keep up with all your things?
SaturdayEveningPost.com is where you'll find my regular articles and stuff. And as Brandon said, Marvel Comics for Dummies in stores now. X-Men for Dummies in stores December. Should be.
All right, and I'm on the socials at Brandon4KUHD. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel for additional material and the ability to watch these episodes. As noted, I will be a guest at Days of the Dead, June 13th through 15th in Indianapolis. Also in Indianapolis, I'll be once again doing PopCon, June 27th through 29th, hosting a live podcast stage and the podcast awards. So check the websites of those for both and their schedules and whatnot to know when and where things are. Next week, Scott, Aaron, and I talk Madame Bovary, Set Fire to the Stars, Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl, and Jurassic World. All that and more as the summer of 2015 at 10 continues.
The summer of 2015 at 10.
Thank you for listening. The Brandon Peters Show is a Creative Zombie Studios production. Produced by Brad Shoemaker and Brandon Peters. Written and edited by Brandon Peters. Announcer vocals by Jessica Alsman. Theme song by Metavari. Web design and show art by Brad Shoemaker with Brandon Peters. All music and clips featured in the episode are property of their respective studios and no infringement is intended. Additional information on this and other episodes at BrandonPetersShow.com. For any inquiries, press opportunities, or sponsorship, contact mail at BrandonPetersShow.com. The show is available on Apple Music, Spotify, or anywhere podcasts are found.